Okay. Now, how did this happen that in Arabic it doesn't work and in English it does work? Because English only has one kind of sentence, which is jumla fi'liya. And we are right now not talking about jumla fi'liya. We are very specifically talking about jumla ismiya, nominal sentence. Jumla ismiya does not exist in proper English. I don't know if it exists in older English, but as we speak English now, they say you cannot make a sentence without a verb. So that means you're gonna definitely only gonna have jumla fi'liya. If you have a sentence devoid of a verb, then that means fundamentally you're talking about two nouns. Because what are our options really quick? First, ism, fi'l, and harf. So we want a sentence that is devoid of a fi'l altogether. Excuse me. So no fi'l here. So for example, you're going to say Zaydun rajulun. Zaydun rajulun. Okay, there is no verb here. When we translate that into English, though, we're going to have to squeeze verb in there in the translation. Zaydun is rajulun. We even need to, in our translation here, put the what they call indefinite article. Zaydun is a rajul, because tanween is not indefinite article, though a lot of publications say so. That's how strongly people think they have to compare Arabic to English or another language. Rather, investigate the Arabic language as per learn Arabic the way the scholars put it, and then explain that. So there's no verb in this sentence, Zaydun rajul. Therefore, there's something we need to do to maintain coherence. That is, let me say it this way. Verb has something, it does something for a sentence. Verb contributes something to a sentence, something that enables you to have an indefinite subject. Yani a verb does not require for its doer to be definite. A verb does not require a definite doer. Therefore, if you had a verbal sentence in Arabic, it doesn't need a definite doer. You can say Ja'a rajulun. This is valid sentence. But you don't say rajul is mubtada here. You say rajul is fa'il. Rajul is verbal subject. Subject of verbal sentence makes a difference. But you wouldn't say in Arabic, for example, rajulun akhun. And the meaning is supposed to be a man is a brother. So that doesn't work. So, since there is not a verb, then there has to be something that gives the subject more standing. Something that makes the subject, give the subject more control of the sentence. What's going to give the subject more control of the sentence is for it to be stronger than the predicate. Which is going to be by being definite. The origin is for the mubtada to be definite and for the khabar to be indefinite. That's a standard Arabic sentence. It is possible for the mubtada to be definite and for the khabar to be definite. That's something you were just mentioning a few moments ago. Huwa al-awwal, for example. It's not possible, though, for the subject to be indefinite, the mubtada to be indefinite, and the khabar is definite. Cannot be.
Yeah, Ustad.
Yes.
So how do you again define the ismul the jumlatul ismiya?
Sentence that starts with a noun. That's the
No.
Arabic definition. Sentence that starts with a noun.
Okay, I was confused when you said doesn't have because I immediately started thinking of other sentences like Zaydun yaktubu at
Yes.
or something like that.
Yeah, those secondary cases.
Okay.
Because in that case, the khabar, what's in the place of the khabar is a jumla, an entire sentence.
No.
The origin of the khabar is to be a noun.
No.
Okay.
And
yes.
Kaun is not in or kaun like to be, like in English we say to be, the verb to be, like Zayd is writing in a book, or Zayd is a writer or something like that. So that kaun is not existing, and it's implied in Arabic.
Yes. Because that's by default. Basically, kaun is daruri. It's granted.
No.
It's anything beyond mere kaun that's not granted. Okay. So if you were to say abdun mu'minun, why this cannot be a mubtada and a khabar? Because why this can't be sifa and mawsuf, adjective with what it's describing? What do you call something being described by an adjective? Is there a single name for what is described by an adjective?
You mean in English?
Yeah. Basically, translation for mawsuf. Sifa is adjective.
Right. What is described usually? I mean, what is described is usually the noun. For in English, what I understood usually when you Pretty Mary, because it's obviously it's reversed in English, but Pretty Mary, you have one as a noun or a proper noun, and the other is a adjective. So I just understood it as a noun, but I didn't. So mawsuf is the thing in which the description falls on.
Yeah, just like you have antecedent. The antecedent also is going to be a noun.
No.
As a rule, antecedent is a noun. But this noun is going to be called antecedent because of its relationship to a pronoun. So the described thing, it's a noun. In Arabic, it's going to be called mawsuf because of its relationship to an adjective. What the noun is going to be called in English because of its relationship to an adjective? I don't know. So, but back to the point here, why abdun mu'minun can't be a mubtada and a khabar? Because then we are not going to be sure that it's not a mawsuf and a sifa. It's valid to, what's the continuation of the ayah? Khair. وَلَعَبْدٌ مُؤْمِنٌ خَيْرٌ. A believing slave is better. خَيْرٌ. عَبْدٌ مُؤْمِنٌ خَيْرٌ. A believing slave is better. So if you just stop there, there's no way to know that it actually is a mubtada and a khabar. That's why it can't be. If you just stop there, then it's confused, or it can be confused for sifa and mawsuf. So it's not sufficient. But if there were a verb here, then this is not feared. So that's it.
Yeah, Ustad.
Yes.
So when we say sifa mawsuf, what is the not and man'ud. What is the
Same
connection?
thing. Same thing. Not and man'ut is the exact same thing.
Okay.
Not is sifa. Man'ut is mawsuf.
Is there a preferred
Not
use?
that I know. I
Okay.
don't know if there's preferred use. I see more the word not in the books of Nahu as a title.
Okay.
The title of the not, but not is sifa exactly. That's why At-Tahawi said موصوف بصفات and منعوت بنعوت in العقيدة الطحاوية.
نعم ما شاء الله. جزاكم الله خيرا.
And we're going to talk about khabar next, inshallah. So, originally, the khabar is a single noun. So you would say Zaydun, Bismillah, Qa'imun, or I'd like to use a different one. Yeah, say for example, Zaydun, Akh. There's a difference between these two predicates here. One, which is that one of them is sifa. Sifa has own rules, such as having the meaning of a verb, such as having damir mustatir. The sifa has damir mustatir. Qa'imun huwa. And maybe something else. So akh is not sifa. Yani akh is jins, ism jins, common noun. But same case here, which is the khabar is single word, single noun, which is marfu'. What's the alternative to a single noun? Alternative to a single noun is yani, which is غير مفرد. غير مفرد here in terms of the khabar. خبر غير خبر غير مفرد. What would it be? It's going to be jumla or shibh jumla, which I translated as prepositional phrase. You can see that more literally translates as the likes of a sentence, semblance of a sentence, or maybe just phrase, if that's what a phrase is. If a phrase is yani, some collection of words as if they are a sentence, but not quite. And shubh jumla is a phrase. But it's going to be a prepositional phrase. So if we just want to say phrase, that's fine. But it's going to be a prepositional one. The jumla is going to be what? Ismiya. Or fi'liya. And shibh jumla is going to be what? Zarf or jar wa majrur. And so an example of each one is like Zaydun abuhu qa'im. And Zaydun يقوم أبوه and زيد تحت الشجرة and زيد في الدار. Okay, inshallah, all that's clear. Let's investigate these. Zayd is the mubtada in all of these. Marfu. Okay. In the first one, Zaydun abuhu qa'im. Abuhu is a mubtada, qa'im is a khabar. In the second one, Zaydun yaqumu abuhu. Yaqumu is a fi'l, which is a predicate. Fi'l is a predicate, always. And a fa'il. Okay. Let's look at these before we go further. Zaydun abuhu qa'im. So we have here then a mubtada that has as its khabar a mubtada and a khabar. And in the second one, you have a mubtada that has as its khabar a fi'l and a fa'il. You should know, in this case, this entire sentence here, this, so this entire sentence right here, this is called al-jumla al-kubra, the greater sentence. The greater sentence. And this mubtada and khabar, or this fi'l and fa'il, is called al-jumla as-sughra, the minor sentence, or clause if you want to translate it as clause. So then, Bismillah, that's kind of sentence there in Arabic. A sentence within a sentence. Any question here?
No, it's clear, inshallah.
Okay. And what does this minor sentence require? Requires rabit, something that links the minor sentence to the mubtada. So that rabit comes in different forms. In our case, came in the form of pronoun. Abuhu, in both cases. Abuhu. Take that pronoun out, it's not valid for that sentence to be a predicate for Zayd. Yani, if you don't exchange it for another rabit, like if you said Abu Khalid, so then it would be Zaydun, Abu Khalid, Qa'im. So this is not valid because there is no rabit, there's no link. And Ibn Hisham, rahimahullah, he told us that the rabit could be a damir pronoun, could be ism ishara pointing noun, could be repeating the uh, uh, repeating the mubtada, repeating the mubtada in the sentence. And we'll take a look and see what he has there. Okay. Now, what about this phrase? Zaydun tahta shajara. Let's rewrite that here. Zaydun tahta shajara. Or Zaydun fidal. So in reality, the khabar is something else. But the scholars say, as summary, uh, and for convenience, they say for convenience, tahta shajara is khabar, and fidal is khabar, which is shibh jumla here. But really, that's not the khabar. So if you just want to talk without details, you'll say it's khabar. What's the khabar then? The khabar then is either. I mean, either we're going to take it back to the origin. The origin is to be a single noun, or yani, that's the origin of the khabar. Either we're going to take it back to the origin of the khabar, which is to be a single noun. That's what the taqdir is going to be. Or we're going to take it back to the origin of what makes a zarf mansoob. The origin of what makes a zarf mansoob. What is it that makes a zarf mansoob? Can you tell me?
Um, I believe you mentioned it before. Let me think. Uh, it's a. Is it? It has to be something that is implied to
I'm not
cause.
talking about here. I'm talking about just in general. What causes a zarf to be mansoob?
Um, uh, I, inshallah, before the guy, I have something in my mind, but I don't want to. Inshallah.
فعل فعل.
No, no, I'm thinking it is something that is not mentioned, but it is implied. Like, but
Yeah, but you think about the question not as I'm posing it really. I'm not asking you about what's implied or not. I'm asking if you have a varf, it's going to be mansub. Yeah, if you have a varf that is mansub, what makes it mansub? As a rule, the answer is a verb. Fi'l is going to make it mansub.
no, no, sure.
Or ما يعمل عمل الفعل, or what acts like a verb. So or what acts like a verb, then we might as well just say verb in it. Let's just say verb in it. So what makes a verb mansub a verb does? So we have here a verb تحت زيد تحت الشجرة. We are saying this verb with its mudaf ilayhi. That mudaf ilayhi is connected to that verb there. This verb, because the verb is what's making the noun get to the other noun. It's what's making the relationship between these two nouns here. Zayd is a noun, Shajara is a noun, Tahat is a noun too, but how are we going to get Zayd to the tree? So we need something. This special kind of noun that acts as a circuit. It denotes a pocket of time or a place or a status. So تحت, it's mansub, and a khabar is not going to be mansub. So then it's not the khabar. Then what's the khabar then? Something implied. Yes. What is that? And we cannot imply without evidence. We're going to imply something should be based on some hujjah. So what are our options? Let me even rewrite it here. Bismillah. زيد تحت الشجرة. What are our options? Our options are to imply either, well, we want to determine what the khabar is. So what would a khabar be originally? It's a mufrad. So then the taqdir is going to be it's a mufrad, or uh, do we want to seek out what's actually making tahid have a fatha? If so, that means we are looking for a fair. Okay. Then let's see if it's a mufrad. What should it be? It would be something like mojud or kain or مستقر. Okay. And if it were a fi'l, what would it be then? It would then be wajada or yujadu or kana or yakunu or istaqarra or yastaqirru or the likes. Could be the ism mufrad, for example, the taqdir could be thabit or could be hasil. If it's a verb, then it's going to be thabata, yathbutu, or hasala, yahsulu. What do all of these have in common? Can you tell me, please?
Um,
In terms of meaning.
uh, in terms of meaning, existence. I mean,
Correct. That's what I'm looking for. All of these have the meaning of kaun. This is called kaunun am, general existence. Or maybe broad existence. Okay. So why should we choose one of these over the other? So whoever goes one way is going to say the taqdir is mawjud or ka'in or mustaqir because I am estimating a khabar, a single noun, as my khabar. And the other one's going to say the taqdir is istaqarra or yastaqirru because I am estimating what is making my zarf mansub. Uh, any questions so far?
no, no.
Okay. And that's why I wanted to give you two examples up here. Zaydun qa'imun and Zaydun akh. There is an important difference here. Qa'im is a sifa. Sifa has the meaning of a verb. Has what does that mean? Has the meaning of a verb? That means can make something marfu' and can make something mansub, because that's what a verb does. What about akh? Akh does not have the meaning of a verb. How then can it make something mansub? I don't know any way akh can make something mansub. So you're not going to say then the taqdir is akh, for example. If you said Zaydun tahta shajara, and you say, I want the taqdir to be a ism mufrad, single noun, and that single noun is going to be akh. Zaydun akhun tahta shajara. Zayd is a brother under the tree. This doesn't work. Why? Because here is not mere existence. This kaunam, mere existence. Ach, the meaning of ach is not mere existence. So it doesn't fit here so that it can be the catalyst. I think that's the word to trigger taht. Yani, I mean, by taqdir, to do it in taqdir. If it was stated there, that's a whole other thing. We're talking about the taqdir here. It's not stated. So the issue that I'm trying to clarify is that supposing someone's saying, what if the taqdir here, since the taqdir can be an ism mufrad, what if the taqdir here was akh, for example? Not saying it, just intending it. Doesn't work because doesn't have mere existence. This meaning doesn't mean mere existence. And therefore, it, first of all, cannot even be known without mentioning it. It's not going to be conceived without mentioning it. Because being a brother is just one possibility of limitless possibilities. First thing to assume is if he exists or not. And if you are talking about him and positioning him, then he must exist. So existence is a given. This you can estimate existence. Mawjood, ka'in, mustaqir. And in such case, you're going to wind up confirming one of these adjectives here. And any one of these adjectives actually is suitable to make the zarf mansub because it can act like a verb. Because it can act like a verb. Sifa has the meaning of a verb. So the single noun being the taqdir fits there if it's like this. Or the verb being the taqdir fits there. Because still means mere existence, and as a verb can trigger the nasb in taht. What? There's a question. And I hope you're following me. Which one of these then? Is one of these stronger? That the taqdir is a fi'l or it's a mufrad? The scholars have talked here. I want to review. Because now that I'm reviewing this with you, and yani, you know there's a benefit in teaching, which that expands your comprehension. So now that I'm reviewing this with you, I have a question. And I wonder if I know the answer. So I want to review. Yeah, the question is which one is stronger? Both sides are going to say why it's stronger. But I just want to review them. Yani, one side says it's stronger because it's the origin of a khabar, which is being a single noun. So that's what makes it stronger in the first place. Other side's gonna say stronger because you need something make the ظرف منصوب. And now furthermore, if we do say that the taqdir is a fi'l, then what we really are saying is that there's a sentence, because fi'l is going to have its damir. So that's a subject and a predicate, fi'l wa fa'il. So if we say the taqdir is a fi'l, then what we're really saying is the taqdir in Zaydun tahta shajara is there's a jumla, is that the khabar is a jumla. So the khabar is either a ism mufrad or the taqdir for this case is either ism mufrad or a jumla. Is that clear?
Yes.
Now, as for jar wa majroor, Zaydun bid-dar. Same thing. Meaning, same taqdir, either ism mufrad or jumla. And in this case, it's the whole prepositional phrase here that is the mahal nasib. The fit down is fi mahal nasib, both of them together. So a jar and a majroor together are like a maf'ul bihi. So then goes back to the same talk, just like we talked about for the var. Any question?
So in the sentence Zaydun tahta الشجرة um, saying that could we say that the verb kana is implied in that? So Zaydun kana tahta shajara.
Yeah, that's valid here. Kana is possible to be muqaddar here.
And I believe I asked you before, and it's kind of a little on topic, but not completely. But is there a preference of the nahwiyun to use jumlatul ismiya or jumlatul fi'liya? Is there a preference, or they're equal in terms of?
I have not heard that there's a preference.
Because, like, say for example, in that sentence, Zaydun, we could say kana tahta shajara. It could be said also Zayd kana. I believe it can be said kana Zaydun tahta shajara, right or no? Is it?
But that changes the meaning.
Okay.
Zaydun kana tahta shajara is different from kana Zaydun tahta shajara.
Okay.
The focus shift and the i'rab shifts also. When you say Zaydun tahta shajara and the taqdir is kana, then the meaning is was existing or is existing. Really means is existing. Even if you chose the maldi and lafuz, you say my taqdir is kana, it means really yakunu. Yani, it's like, yeah, even if you're talking in the past, you're saying, so let me tell you. So I was with Zayd, right? So Zayd is under the tree, and you're talking in the past. So the meaning is yakunu, because it's like you're talking now. It's like you're telling it now. So uh so the meaning would be that Zayd is existing. But we don't have to mention his existence because it's a given. And he's under the tree. If you say kana Zaydun tahta shajara, it's interesting. I don't know how well to express the difference here, but because you're changing the dynamic of the sentence really drastically, because you made the mubtada, which has no amil lafzi, does not have amilun lafzi, no verbalized governing word. This is significant to its meaning. You made it subordinate to the verb al-fi'lu naqis kana. This reduced the meaning of Zayd in a way. This made it subservient. So the meaning of the existence is there. So the most that I know for sure is that the focus shifted from Zayd to the being. If you put kana in the front, the being became. First of all, you stated it, and you started with it. You stated it verbally, and you started with it. So your focus is there. And then you mentioned Zayd. When you say Zaydun tahta shajara, the existence is not disregarded, but demoted here because it's given. It's not important. Yani, you're not even supposed to mention it. This hadith here is wajib. If you did taqdir of any of these, any of this, the omission of any of that is wajib because it's a given. So that's the most I know about the difference between those.
You said that you said that the existence of the omission of that is wajib, and you said
Yes.
something else. I missed what you said. I didn't hear. It didn't come out clear.
I said that's what I know about the difference between those.
No, before you said that, you said something else.
Because it's a given.
Okay.
It must be omitted because it's a given. This is بخبر محذوف وجوبا بخبر محذوف وجوبا. This is خبر محذوف وجوبا. Why is wujuban? Because the taqdir itself is al-kawn al-am. Yani, it's a given. You don't have to say it. You're not supposed to say it. You don't say Zaydun mustaqirrun tahta shajara. Zaydun yastaqirru tahta shajara. Zaydun ka'inun tahta shajara. You don't say it. maybe somebody will, yani, when I learned that, to be honest with you, I was skeptical. Well, you don't say it. Why you can't say it? Don't say it then.
I think in English, when I think in English, there has to be a verb for existence. There has to
Yeah.
be,
The verb to be has to be there at least.
yeah. So uh that taqdir is also the rabit, also that taqdir of
No, the Robit's gonna be with the. Well,
like
if the taqdir is a mufrad, then you don't need a Robit.
no,
You only need a Robit when the taqdir is other than it's a mufrad, and
no, that's
then the taqdir is going to be with the then the Robit's going to be in the taqdir. Yeah,
no, that's what I mean. Okay.
that's the
Mashallah.
meaning of what I mentioned to you. That when we say the taqdir is a fi'l, we're really saying the taqdir is a jumla because the pronoun is included. Wow. Now, just one more thing, because I insisted that you need to not say that. If this is correct, khabar mahdhuf wujuban, but you can say it if you have a reason for it. Saying it. Because if you have a reason for saying it, then it's not the mere existence. It's not the mere existence is your point. So that's why you're saying it. It's going to be for something else. Like if you said Zaydun thabitun tahta shajara, it's not going to be the mere existence that you want when you say it. Wallahu a'lam. SubhanAllah, we didn't even read any of this stuff. But yeah, I mean, that was good.
Mashallah, that was nonetheless replete. Mashallah, that was abundant. Mashallah. Jazakumullah khairan.
I mean, what you got to.
Even we didn't go forward, that's fine, because that clarified more. Mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.